Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Racing with Rolls. So this is the Formula One roundup for the weekend. A very eventful kind of race this weekend over at the Spa-Francorchamps course in Belgium. We had, the big story is that Max Verstappen and Red Bull look basically unbeatable. They just keep on getting it right. You know, that car looks easy to drive. It looks like Max is having fun out there. They're really just smashing around the track. Max started in, 14th this weekend and finished first. And that man went all the way through the track and scythed through the track. By lap 7, that man was already within touching distance of the whole podium. Max Verstappen looking absolutely mighty. I will say that I am self-proclaimed not the biggest Max Verstappen fan, but credit where credit's due. That man is absolutely flying at the moment, and I think that all of the smart money is betting on him, and I think he would be pretty hard pushed to find someone who wouldn't say that he's going to lift the Drivers' Championship this year, and probably, Red Bull are going to win the Constructors. So fair play, good day at the office for those boys out there. Christian Horner must be very happy at this point in time. But then Ferrari, the biggest challenger, you would argue, to the Red Bull outfit, completely dropping the ball. Somebody needs to stop having a quick mimosa before the race, because it looks like they are. That's really the only explanation for what they're up to over there. Every single decision that they could make, they seem to be getting it wrong. Every single one. They seem to be having bad strategy, not really having any strategy at all. They seem to be asking Charles questions, hoping that he's going to give them the answers to the kind of problems that they're trying to solve. And if you have a world champion in that car, if you have a Vettel, if you have a Schumacher, an Alonso, a Hamilton, a Verstappen, if you have any of those guys in there, you can draw on that experience, and that makes sense because they've been in the trenches. They've showed that they can come out of those situations where they are kind of running in the middle of the pack and they're running in a train of cars, and you're trying to move that car forward, be it through a pit stop, be it through clever tyre strategy, be it whatever it is, however you're going to do that. But Ferrari just seem to be asking Leclerc and hoping that he's got an answer for him, hoping that he's got some kind of magic bullet, which seems kind of nuts considering that there is an entire team wall of strategists over there at Ferrari who just can't get it right. And in my previous video, I did say, I wonder if this is going to be, the turning point for them in their season. And based on what happened today, I just don't think so. I think the problems still remain. The car still is quick, but even the way that they set it up with particularly high drag. So they angled a lot of the wings on the car so that they get more downforce. That gives you more grip. The problem is Spa is an incredibly fast track. You have Eau Rouge and that Kessel Straight. Those cars are going 200, 210 miles an hour sometimes down there. And so if you set a car up to have more grip, more downforce, you lose that top end speed. And it just seemed like they made bad decisions left, right and centre. They put him on the wrong tyres in qualifying. They then capped the whole thing by trying to bring him in on the penultimate lap on 43 out of 44 and trying to put him on some fresh tyres so that he could go out and get the fastest lap. He went out, he's stuck behind Fernando Alonso. He's never going to get the fastest lap in that kind of situation, and then he gets a 5-second place penalty because he was speeding in the pit lane. It's like watching somebody fall down the stairs at this point in time. It really is, and they are hitting every stair on the way down, and it seems to be completely self-inflicted as far as I can figure out. So Ferrari, great car, love it, but they need to sort that out, and I think that's going to be some major changes come the end of the season there, if not before. Beyond that, other drama, Fernando Alonso, Lewis Hamilton, 2 world champions, former teammates, bit of bad blood there. They never got on when they were in the same team. They came together on lap 1, and to his credit, Lewis Hamilton did put his hands up and say, totally my fault. He came over, we'll try and get a picture of it here, but basically they both came up. Lewis is going around the outside, closes the door on Fernando, that car goes up in the air and was retired on lap 1 there. And it was just just one of those where Lewis was kind of driving like he had a point to prove and was trying to, get his elbows out and get up the field. But there's part of me that just kind of wonders what Lewis has got left to prove. He's a 7-time world champion. He's out there racing and he's in a car that's good. It's a very good car. Mercedes is an incredible championship team. There's no two ways about it. But does he have it's not the ability, but it's the kind of desire to grab that team kind of by the scruff of the neck and go, okay, cool, we're all going to put in, the massively long days that we know Michael Schumacher used to put in and things like that to bring that team from good to championship again. And I just wonder personally, never doubting his talent, got a lot of time for Lewis Hamilton. He grew up very close to me, funnily enough. But does he really want to do it? He looked very dejected walking back to the pit lane, and there's been a number of interviews kind of recently with him where he's been very down in the mouth about what's going on. And there is part of me with Seb Vettel walking away at the end of this season. Does Lewis need to still be there? That's an incredible seat in that Mercedes, and as George Russell has shown, young driver, really wants to get after it. George was out there finishing amongst the big boys, and so it's just one of those with Lewis. I think that might be something that's kind of creeping into his head at that point in time. Lewis, unfortunately, aerial acrobatics and out on the first lap. There were a couple of other crashes on the first lap. Valtteri Bottas, Lewis's ex-teammate over there at Mercedes, end up in the gravel trap after getting tagged. Pretty eventful stuff going on, and that kind of midfield pack is really racing. There's really a lot going on down there. Danny Rick, last season in Formula One, going to walk away at the end of the year, and he's racing. They're rocking around. They're kind of getting after it. Seb Vettel was having a bit of a go. A lot of them just kind of let Max Verstappen go through, who started in 14th, 15th, and just scythed through the pack. The old heads let him go, but they were racing each other, and there was a lot of overtaking. So Formula One, I don't think you can say it's just a procession anymore, even though, once Max got out in front, Max was out in front. So that was that. That was the weekend. It was an interesting one over there at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. It's one of the greatest circuits in the history of motorsport as far as I'm concerned. But the big takeaway is Max Verstappen and that Red Bull team looking like almost shoo-ins for the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships there, and an absolutely dominant performance there. This has been Racing with Rolls. Hope you had a lovely weekend. Take care.